a lot to learn and there's a lot to discuss as well. So I'm very, very excited to be here. We'll get started in 1 minute actually. Sorry again for the delay as we had some issues today with the software, but yeah, we are live and we're gonna get started. I can see some people watching right now. If others can let me know in the comments if they can see the screen and if they can see me going live. I'm just waiting for people to join as well. Leave some comments for me from where are you joining today and what are you excited to learn more about. This masterclass is all in one and this group is completely private. No one outside of the group will be reading your comments except whoever is inside the group. I want you to feel comfortable. I want you to know, it's all about you today. We're going to be discussing so many different things today. Let me know from where are you joining me, and yeah, let me know what are you excited to learn about today. We'll get started in 1 minute. All right, let's get started then. Welcome to this free masterclass. This masterclass is about healing your unresolved wounds before they damage your life and relationships. And like I was mentioning, this is all about you. It's all about your healing. I'm sorry, maybe you can't see my face, but it's a new software. I don't know, I'm getting used to it. I do apologize for the delay, but during this masterclass, you will be learning about how to heal from traumas and wounded inner child that could be affecting your relationships. We're going to talk about how to overcome abandonments and codependency wounds. We're going to talk about how to understand yourself and how to regain your self-worth and boundaries. And we're going to talk about how you can be authentically you, never settle for less, because it's finally time for you to give back to yourself. Do you agree with me? It's time for you to give back to yourself if you have been neglecting yourself. Of course, we do have so much to talk about. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. And of course, this is a free masterclass and it's free because I want to make a difference. I want to support you. I want to encourage you. I want to be there for you and completely support you heal and give you the confidence to move forward from here today. So thank you so much, and I will have the replay ready as well if anyone can't make it. But for now, let me know in the comments if you're ready to change your life and if you're ready to give back to yourself. So I'm gonna ask you for a favor today. We always give so much for others. We never give back to ourselves. We're too busy looking at our phones, trying to do things for others, and we never give back time to ourselves. So please, please, for today, I'm gonna ask you for a favor. Turn off your phone, grab a notebook, and let's start discussing and let's start healing, because you're worthy of healing. You're worthy of connecting to yourself. You're worthy of giving back to yourself and just being present in the here and now. And I mean it. When was the last time you were present in the here and now? So please give back to yourself. I want you to be present with me and let's get into it. The information that I'm going to share with you today, you will not find anywhere else. And I mean it. You will not find anywhere else. It's all about your healing. It's all about your growth. And truly, it's time for you to give back to yourself. So let me know in the comments. Which one are you? Why did you decide to join me today? Do you feel like your past traumas and unhealed wounds are affecting you from forming a healthy relationship? Or maybe you're number two, you're already in a relationship, but you feel that your past is holding you back from connecting with your partner. Let me know, which one are you? Let me know in the comments. I want to see everyone leave some comments, because this is the only time, and I want you to truly heal, and I want you to truly be honest with me and yourself, because whatever your reason is, I'm here to support you today. You're worthy of receiving the support that you need. So let me know in the comments. Which one are you? I'll wait to see your comments. Are you number one or are you number two? So 1 and 2, I feel it's subconscious. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And Susanna said she's number 1 and 2. I want you to know you're never alone. And that's why we're here today, to make a difference in your life and support you truly heal beyond your traumas. Whatever your reason is, I'm here to support you. I really, truly want to make a difference in your life. And you're never alone in this, because I can relate to you. I struggled with wounds, I struggled with traumas, pain, grief, low self-worth and low self-esteem from a very young age. And I struggled with not knowing my worth. And throughout this journey, I almost lost myself due to my traumas, attracting the wrong relationships, feeling like I wasn't enough, feeling that no matter what I did wasn't enough. And I almost lost myself until one day I decided enough is enough, and I wanted to break the cycle. And that's why I do what I do. I'm a qualified therapist from the clinical side, but also I struggled with my own traumas and I have my own lived experiences. And I am ready to support you, make a difference in your life. And once I decided enough is enough, it wasn't about changing my hairstyle. It wasn't about buying new things. It wasn't about finding coping mechanism. It was about real healing that has to do a lot with self-worth, boundaries, standards, healing the wounded inner child, healing abandonment wounds, and healing codependency wounds. And on that journey, I learned it's all about healing, feeling your feelings, releasing and healing that wounded inner child from within, and knowing exactly you deserve to be happy. And I learned how to break the cycle. I'm in a very happy marriage, and I want you to do the same. And I'm gonna support you to do the same. So, with that being said, have you all heard about the quote about we usually say we repeat what we don't heal or what we don't repair? Can you relate to that? Let me know in the comments if you can relate to, the statement, we repeat what we don't repair. Let me know in the comments. And why do you think we repeat the same cycle? Like honestly, let's be honest. Do you seem to repeat the same dysfunctional relationship patterns or coping mechanism even though they leave you feeling hurt and frustrated? Why do people end up in one codependent relationship after another? Why do women with an emotionally distant mother repeat the same cycle with their own kids? Why there's so many children of alcoholics marry partners with alcohol issues? Why do people grow up in violent families are more likely to repeat these cycles, like becoming abusers or becoming the victim of abuse? Why does it happen? Why do you think it happens? Why do you think we keep repeating the same cycle all over and over again? What do you think is happening? Let me know in the comments. Or just comment, why do we repeat the same cycle? I would love to know from you. Yeah, this is what we know and what we're familiar with. That's right. This is what we know and what we're familiar with. This is exactly right. This is what we usually know, and this is what we usually feel. It's familiar. So let's talk more. On the surface level, this doesn't make any sense. No one wants to grow up in a dysfunctional family or, feel like they being traumatized and they're repeating the same cycle. No one wants any of this. But you may think, what if my childhood was healthy? Even if you had a healthy childhood, you still can repeat the same cycle due to being in toxic relationships. You're forever trying to resolve or justify what happened to you. So let's get into it. Feel free to write notes. Feel free to comment. This is all about you. It's all about you healing. So why do we repeat what we don't heal from? Like Susanna mentioned, we repeat what's familiar. Even though we know it's dysfunctional and not working for us, we repeat behaviors that seem, very familiar to us. It's like really, really familiar to the point where we know what to expect. And we simply use it because we don't want to deal with something we don't know, or the fear of an unknown because we don't know. It's our comfort zone, so we stay in it. It's really easy. It's really, really easy to stay in your comfort zone. And that's one of the reasons to why we repeat what we don't heal from. Another reason, if you had a traumatizing childhood, we repeat what we learned as children. The beliefs, the coping skills, the behaviors, everything you learned in childhood when your mind wasn't fully developed, it's so easy to repeat it because you think this is the way to live. You never had a chance for your mind to develop, to be aware, to be conscious about what's happening. So it's really easier for you to act from what you know as a child. And it's really hard for you to change because that's all you know. That's all you know. You can't tell someone, to change something if that's all they know. Exactly, yeah, you don't know better. And what about, where's the better way? How does it work? That's exactly right. I love the comments. And we repeat what was traumatizing as well. Another reason, the third reason, because on a subconscious level, you're trying to gain mercy over what happened to you. If you felt rejected, if you felt neglected, if you felt not loved, you felt not enough, you felt, you had no power as a child, you may recreate experiences and relationships where you feel like, I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna save this. And by thinking you're gonna change the outcome by being with someone who reminds you of your mom or your dad, then you think you're gonna fix this by winning the love and approval of someone who is similar to your mom and dad, and you feel more in control. But instead you choose partners and friends who treat you like your parents, and you continue to play that part, and you always have this subconscious conflict, but the outcome is always the same. Does it make sense, ladies? Let me know in the comments. The outcome will never change. It's always the same. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to this. And we think we deserve to suffer. That's another reason. That's the fourth reason. Like we mentioned, familiar, how you were raised as a child, the conflict, subconscious conflict. And then the fourth reason is about you feeling like, I deserve to suffer. If I wasn't loved by my mom, how can I be loved by someone else? How can I attract a healthy relationship? How can I heal my wounds? My wounds will protect me. I need my wounds. I need my coping mechanism. I need to act that way to save myself. Traumas, to be honest with you, traumatized children are often told they are bad and they deserve to be abused. And also when they see, for example, their mom or their dad drinks, or the family has many financial issues or issues in general where the kid's been neglected, the child will believe that they are the reason. Can you let me know if you can relate to this? Even if you see your parents struggling in different ways, having issues in their marriage, you think as a child there's something wrong with you. And that's why we internalize our family shame and blame from a very, very long time. It's like this intergenerational traumas that passes from one time to another, to the point where you were already born with the traumas you have. And when our self-esteem is low, we believe we deserve the emotional pain. You feel like, he's treating me that way because I deserve it. He's treating me that way because I deserve it. It's me. You always blame yourself until you start doing the healing work where you become more aware. The abuse, the failed relationships, the shame in childhood, you take on all of this and you blame yourself. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to this. And that stays with you, even if you attract a healthy relationship. Like, you always think, why is he being so nice maybe? Why is he acting that way towards me? There's something wrong. He's not going to stay. And you act from traumas because you believe deep down you're not worthy of this connection. And as a result of your unhealed wounds, you actually developed what we call insecure attachment styles as adults. Let me know in the comments if you know about attachment styles. I would love to know from you. How familiar are you with attachment styles? Let me know in the comments. How familiar are you? Let me know if you struggle with attachment issues. And when we talk about attachments, Do you understand what happens as a child? If you felt that your parent didn't validate you, they didn't make you feel secure, you develop insecure attachment styles to protect yourself. But as an adult, you will always struggle with the same thing. You will always struggle with the same thing. You will always have the same attachment style in your relationships. Let me know in the comments if that makes sense to you. And let me know, what attachment style do you have? Let me know in the comments whether you're live with me right now or you're gonna watch this as a replay later on. I would love to know from you. What type of attachment do you think you have? What's your attachment style? Do you think you're secure? You think you're anxious you have anxious attachment style, or do you feel you have a secure avoidance attachment style? Let me know in the comments. Mix of three, yeah, because it changes depending on who you're with and how people make you feel. Let's get into it, ladies. So when we talk about having wounds, they actually relate to having insecure attachment styles and codependency. So you notice if you have an anxious attachment style, you have difficulty establishing secure attachment to others. By keeping others close, you think it's safer for you. So it can manifest in needing validations all the time, fear of abandonments, being greedy dependence in relationships, having, high sensitivity to how people react, shaky core of self, doing what others need you to do, and you neglect your own needs. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to this, because this is a sign that you're struggling with unresolved wounds, more specifically in relationships. And then you become avoidance. You have avoidance attachment. So you have difficulty establishing secure attachment, and you want to run away. You always want to run away. So you sabotage healthy relationships. You have a fear of vulnerability. You push people away and you become avoidant. You focus on external things like your accomplishments at work, lack of core of self and what your self needs. You have difficulty trusting and letting others be emotional around you. So you're more avoidance. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to this. Let me know in the comments if that makes you realize that you could be struggling with that. Hi Claire, thank you for being here today. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to this and how it's affecting your relationships, because trauma can change everything. How trauma can affect your relationships. Trauma can change everything. Changes your thought cycle. So a traumatic event can change the way you think about yourself, you feel about yourself, how you see things around you, how you get triggered. For example, if you have spent your life thinking people can be trusted, and then you go through a trauma event, you may think, I can't trust anyone anymore. It changes how you think about yourself, about your partner, about your future, about everything around you. It makes you also, on another note, makes you become hyper alert. So think about this. Trauma can change your mind structure, basically. It can activate that fear response, which can send you into survival. Let me know in the comments if you heard about survival before. I would love to know from you if you heard about survival before. So survival, when you go into the fight, flight, and freeze state to protect yourself. Let's say you're going through trauma. Let's say, you went through a breakup or a toxic relationship where you went into survival. But once you're out of survival, you still feel like you're in survival without noticing, because you still live in survival and everything is a threat around you. That's a valid example, because your mind trying to keep you safe. So it sends you into survival, but you never get out of this stage, even when you're happy, even when you're in a relationship, and you always operate from that trauma. It's like reliving your experiences to some extent. Let me know in the comments if that sounds familiar, because your brain may stay in this hyper alert stage even after the incident. You may find yourself responding to anything as threatening, regardless whether it's an actual threat or not. It's similar, like let's say you got assaulted one day walking down the street, then every time you go out and someone comes near you, you really freak out because you think you're gonna get attacked again, or you live in that stage forever. And that's when it's really important not just to do the talk therapy, or just talk. It's more important to truly heal your wounded inner child, your traumas. How trauma can affect your relationships. Also, it can make you feel numb. The flip side of this heightened stage is dissociation. So basically, feeling numb or dead inside. And this mental block helps you survive by entering this, I'm detached from everything around me to protect myself. You're forever trying to protect your inner child. So your brain creates this mental block. Let me know in the comments if that sounds familiar. Also, it can lead you to become avoidance, and experiencing trauma can lead you to become avoidance from situations, relationships. Let's say, you were in a relationship where your partner may not made you feel heard or understood or stood by you, or trusted you, or doubted you, never you know made you feel safe. Then you go into another relationship, you still act from that trauma, thinking, if I speak to him or have a discussion, it's going to end up badly. So you still act from this avoidance stage in your relationships. As a result, you may find yourself closing off relationships and becoming completely detached. And let's tap into the reasons. So, one of the reasons why unhealed traumas can damage your life and your relationships is because we're carrying unhealed emotional abandonment wound ourselves. Feel free to write this down. And let me know if you're learning a lot. I would love to know from you. Are you learning a lot throughout this? And how do you feel so far? Okay, so let's get into it. So so why can our unhealed wounds damage our relationships? One of the reasons is our subconscious mind is seeking to recreate what's familiar, and when it comes to relationships, we create the dynamic that we feel a relationship we had with our parents or when we were younger, because it's safer for us. And deep down, even if we had, being in a healthy relationship, we still feel scared and insecure because we worry about how they're gonna react. So it's like the inner child is always trying to fix the original conflict or the original relationship you had with your family. And it's like your inner child is trying to justify, find solutions. So you attract someone similar to your parents as a way to resolve this conflict. It's all subconsciously happening. And feel free to write this down. To understand this, everything is energy, including our unhealed wounds. And they are highly magnetic. And it can lead us to seeking connections, match our wounds, trying to heal our wounds, and therefore we attract partners who may resemble the relationships we had before, or even the relationships we had with our parents. It's like you're forever trying to resolve that conflict on a subconscious level. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. And how do you know this is affecting you? You feel unworthy of love, you feel you're not good enough for a partner, you compare yourself to others, you feel like you have lost your sense of identity. You always need to work hard to feel worthy, and you have difficulty making your own decisions. You always need validations from others, and you feel that you need to give to feel good about yourself. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to this. Do you relate to any of the signs that I have mentioned? Let me know in the comments. And you may notice as well, our unhealed wounds can damage our relationships because we operate from traumas. We truly operate from traumas without realizing. When trauma remains unresolved, there will be many, many, many triggers that you might not even know, and you will always respond, to event from being reactive, from not knowing your worth, and you always act as you were experiencing traumas from the past without realizing you live in the here and now. And for example, if you were neglected by your parents, your partner coming home late from work, or not being able to, come on time for dinner, it triggers you into thinking he doesn't care about you, and you feel abandoned. So anything can activate the reaction to feeling triggered in relationships, because you have trauma that hasn't been resolved, and you're forever reliving your traumas. And many symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder can interfere with having healthy relationships. And the four main symptoms, as you may know: flashbacks, nightmares about the trauma, staying away from the situation, and feeling nervous and having increased negative thoughts and feelings. Let me know in the comments if you feel like you have unresolved traumas. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to this. And you need to remember, as always, you don't decide to have trauma or be impacted by the trauma, but trauma symptoms can affect the way you interfere with others, even if you're not aware about it. Trauma might make it hard to communicate, and it can also make you feel like there's no way you can live. You always have to operate from coping mechanisms to survive. So we don't know the extent of your traumas. Everyone acts differently. And you need to understand, you never decided to have this trauma. It's all happening subconsciously. And how do you know you have unresolved traumas? Let me know in the comments if you can relate to any of the signs that I'm going to mention. So let's talk more. How do you know you have unresolved traumas? So you have trouble with intimacy, you don't feel relaxed at home or with others, you feel detached from others, having difficulty handling emotions, you have a lot of anger, which can result in pushing people away, being critical of beloved one, becoming physically and emotionally abusive. You can be overly protective of loved ones and prevent you from living your life to the fullest. You can become dependent also on others, which can affect you, and that's another sign of trauma. Let me know in the comments if you think, you know, you haven't resolved traumas, and what does it mean for your relationship. Let me know in the comments. I would love to know from you. I'm glad to hear about this, Nick. It's helping you realize how much you have come. That's amazing. And thank you for your comments, Susanna, as well, about relating to this. That's why we're here today, to truly support you all heal and know your worth. Also, another reason to why our traumas, our unhealed wounds can damage our relationships is because we don't believe we deserve love. Another reason why we're not able to form or stay in a healthy relationship is because we're willing to settle. You believe that your partner is what you deserve. You settle for less in relationships. And deep down in your heart and your mind, you understand them. You relate to toxic people, or you relate to emotionally unavailable partners. So it's easier for you to stay. But here's the thing, write this down, ladies, write this down. As we speak about this, write it down. Knowing your worth is the answer to attracting healthy relationships. Knowing your worth is the answer to loving yourself and never settling for less. Ladies, it's time to know your worth. It's time to know what you deserve. You're more than a relationship. You're more than what people make you feel. You're as worthy as everyone else around you. Don't ever settle. By now, you may ask, how can I heal? And this is exactly what we're going to do. And this is exactly what we're going to do. It's time to work on how you can heal. Who is ready to heal today? Who is ready to break the cycle? Who's ready to heal their wounds? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you're ready to break the cycle with me today. Great, let's get into it. This is why we're here today. We want to truly break the cycle together. So the first step is to connect to your inner child. You have an inner child, I have an inner child. It's your subconscious mind. It's the little girl within you that has been holding all your traumas and always trying to resolve the conflict, the subconscious conflict, the past, the trauma, justify what happened to them. This is your inner child who is carrying the emotional abandonment wounds by seeking to fix the original conflict where they were emotionally abandoned, didn't feel loved, they didn't feel supported, by choosing the wrong relationships or pushing healthy relationships away because it doesn't feel safe. Your inner child is the one who's making you feel insecure, the one who's making you feel unworthy. Your inner child needs you. She needs the adult self. Have you heard about the inner child before? Let me know in the comments if you have heard about the inner child before. I would love to know from you. So here's the thing. Your inner child is always there. You need to start getting to know your inner child, and I usually use either painful memories to connect with the inner child, or you can use happy memories to connect with the inner child. And after you connected with your inner child and you can visualize them and you can speak to them, then you need to work on your attachment style. And the key in healing attachments, feel free to write this down, is actually not changing yourself. It's about being aware. The key difference between someone who feels insecure and someone who doesn't, you know, who doesn't, who doesn't need reassurance and secure within themselves is how they react to different situations. Someone who's secure has the ability to connect to their inner child, has the ability to externalize situations rather than internalize it, has the ability to say, I'm the prize, and everyone who comes into my life should be so grateful to be in my life. And it's about knowing your worth, and it's about reparenting your inner child. So if you had the chance today to say one thing to your inner child, what would it be? Let me know in the comments. What do you want to tell your inner child today? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. I want to know from you. What's one thing you want to reparent your inner child? What's one thing you want to tell your inner child to do? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know from you. Even though maybe you haven't connected with your inner child fully, what's one thing you want to tell your inner child? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know from you. Oh, I love that. She is loved. She is loved. Be more self-confident. Yes, yes. Can she rely on the adult self to heal the wounds, the conflict in a very peaceful way? Let me know in the comments. Because the next step to feel secure is not just about changing and reframing your negative thoughts. It's more than that. Usually, when it comes to your thoughts, feel free to write this down. When it comes to your thoughts, they're just thoughts until you give meanings to them. Be more self-confident. I love that. I love how amazing that would be for your inner child to know this. And it's time to connect with her and support her heal. Also, ladies, like I was mentioning, as part of your healing is understanding when it comes to healing your wounds, you need to understand your negative thoughts are just thoughts, nothing else. Nothing else until you give meanings to them. And when you start having negative thoughts, it's time to gain your self-worth. What's self-worth to you? Let me know in the comments. How do you describe self-worth? I would love to know from you. How do you describe self-worth? What's self-worth to you? It's about understanding you're worthy, you're loved, you're one of a kind, you're the prize. Self-worth is an internal feeling. It's about knowing yourself, knowing how to control your thoughts, but yet feel your feelings and emotions. Your thoughts are just thoughts until you give meanings to them. And in order to gain a high level of self-worth, here's what you need to do. If you have negative thoughts, reframe and challenge them, but use evidence. So today, for this exercise to support you truly heal, I want you to find a thought that you want to reframe and challenge, and I want you to use evidence today. It can be about anything. It can be about relationships, about yourself, about your relationships with your family. What do you want to change today? What negative thoughts you have been carrying for years that you want to release today? Let me know in the comments. Use evidence. Let's do it, ladies. You are worthy of your healing. And of course, we also need to work on boundaries. How do you protect yourself? How do you heal your wounds? How do you connect to yourself? What's the best way to become confident, to have enough self-worth as well, is by having boundaries. Boundaries are part of your identity. If you don't have boundaries, how do you know what you need and want? Let me know in the comments. Do you have boundaries, or do you struggle with them? Because without boundaries, how can you heal your inner child? How can you heal your wounds? I love this. I'm not seeing they don't care enough. What do you want to reframe it and change it with? Let me know in the comments. But also, ladies, with that being said, we need to work on boundaries. Without boundaries, who are you? What's your identity? How do you describe yourself? What would you be without your boundaries? What's who are you without your boundaries? It's not just about a relationship, it's about your healing, about breaking the cycle. And this is how you know you struggle with boundaries. You struggle to say no. You have to save the relationships. You settle for less. You stay long for in toxic relationships. You don't even speak up when you're treated badly. You give away too much of your time and energy. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to these signs or if you have any of the signs. Because sticking to your boundaries will prevent you from being taken advantage of and falling into toxic relationships. Sticking to your boundaries, it's about healing your wounds because you know how to protect yourself, and that will make your inner child feel safe from within. So whenever you're ready, think about your own needs and wants. Think about your own needs and wants. Commit to one boundaries you want to change today. Write it down and say it. Think about what you want to establish. For example, I have a boundary that I will never accept less than love, support, care, and understanding, if, even from myself. If someone would cross my boundaries, I would reinforce my boundary. I will be clear about what I want them, you know, how I want my life to be and my needs and wants and how it made me feel that they crossed my boundary. I would use the I statements rather than the you statements. I'm going to be clear with myself about the treatment that I will tolerate and not tolerate. And then I'm going to decide to limit or cut them off if they continue to disrespect my boundaries. How does that sound, ladies? What boundary do you want to establish today? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know from you. What boundary do you want to establish within yourself for your inner child, for your own healing, for your own growth? Let me know in the comments. So I would love to know from you. I love this. I will not do the work for others and waste my time. That's a commitment. That's it. You have to commit to this. It's time to give back to yourself. I love this boundary. Ladies, as far as we go through this masterclass, we have discovered the main reasons to why you need to heal your wounds. We spoke about, you know, the inner child. We spoke about boundaries. We spoke about, you know, traumas. We spoke about reactions and being in survival. We spoke about the wounded inner child, boundaries, self-worth. We spoke about so much. Which area do you think you need more support with? Because by now you will have two options. You can keep doing what you have been doing and run into the risk of damaging and destroying your relationships, not knowing how to deal with your emotions and triggers without a professional support. Or you can join the Inner Child Academy to heal your inner child effectively and have healthy relationships. Who wants to hear about the Inner Child program more? Who is ready to connect with their inner child? Let me know in the comments if you're ready to hear more about this. Are you ready to heal traumas, triggers, and let go of wounds that are keeping you stuck? Because I'm going to introduce today Heal Your Inner Child program. This, of course, the one and only program that covers everything you need to know about healing your wounds, breaking the cycle, and being in a healthy relationship. This is for you if you feel overwhelmed but yet determined to let go of feeling unworthy, anxious, or lonely. It's finally time to move beyond the wrong relationships, toxic jobs, and feeling stuck in life. It's time to feel emotionally balanced, confident in setting boundaries, and attracting everything you desire. Here's how it's gonna work. I want to invite you to join me because I only have 4 spots to accept new clients into my program. Here's how it's going to work. We're going to work together for 2 months. You will be receiving private sessions with me. You're going to have very intensive sessions. It's not like the sessions you have with your therapist where it's just 50 minutes and they tell you it's time. My sessions go up to an hour and a half. You will receive messaging in between so you feel supported throughout this process of healing and breaking the cycle and healing your wounds. And by now you may ask, what will be included? And like I mentioned, I'm only accepting for ladies and I'm fully booked in my practice. And here's what's going to be included. Healing theme, we're going to heal the emotional abandonments and codependency. It's time to resolve, let go of feeling anxious, avoidance, lonely, and instead it's time to feel secure and deeply connected, and time to heal this wounded inner child. Theme 2, it's about attachment and letting go of feeling anxious and settling for less, not feeling enough, worrying about damaging healthy relationships, and instead it's time to feel calm, confident, secure, and it's time to enjoy the healthiest relationship of your life because you're worthy of this. And theme 3, it's about letting go of feeling not good enough and the need to prove yourself. Finally, stand solid within yourself. Know that you're enough, you've always been, and you will always be enough. And theme 4, it's about boundaries and it's about letting go of the blocks that's keeping you stuck from setting boundaries. It's time to develop communication style and to work on your boundaries with confidence. How does that sound? Just like imagine in 10 weeks you feel confident in yourself. Just imagine in 10 weeks you're gonna feel worthy and enough from within and healing your wounds because it's finally time to break this cycle. You're worthy of this investment. Imagine that you have boundaries and standards and you just shining from the here and now rather than operating from unresolved traumas. Imagine your inner child connecting to you and loving you back. How does that sound? Who is ready to heal? Because today, for the next 24 hours, you can receive $100 off if you decide to join Heal Your Inner Child program. And the investment is $957, or you can do 4 easy installments of $267 a month. This is an investment in you. This is an investment in your growth. This is an investment in knowing your worth. This is an investment to change your life and stop the traumas. So for the next 24 hours, you can receive discount, and he's one of my lovely clients. She said after working with Summer, she has changed my life. I was getting triggered all the time, not feeling worthy and settling. Now I have connected with my inner child. I feel happy, complete, and worthy, and in my dream relationship. And like I mentioned, only accepting for ladies. And if you're ready to heal, you can message me today or email me right away to save your spot, because I honestly want to change your life. I have, I truly honor the time that you're spending with me. And I truly honor you being here today. I see you and I want you to know it's possible for you to move beyond your traumas and resolve traumas, wounds, blocks, conditioning. I have poured my heart into this program and I know I can support you. I invite you to let me guide you. Together we can heal and step into life beyond traumas. You're worthy of this investment. If you're ready to heal, if you're ready to heal your traumas, your wounds, contact me today. Always remember to love yourself and never settle for less. I love you all so much. Thank you all for being here. And let me know if you're ready to join. Very honored to be here. Let me know what you learned as well throughout the program, the masterclass. And if you're ready to change your life, make sure to message me today. Sending you all a lot of love, and I can't wait to support you all. Thank you for being here.